Most Honorable, my Lord, Justice Dr. Sanjay Kumar Mishra ji, the President of the newly constituted, newly formed the GST Appellate Tribunal, our very esteemed President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, C.A. Charanjot Singh Nanda ji, very esteemed Chartered Accountant, the Joint Secretary in the Department of Revenue, Mr. K. Balasubramaniam ji, the other esteemed faculties who have joined us today, Mr. Alok Kumar from the GSTN, Mr. Bijoy Saha and Mr. Krishna Kumar from the NIC, the Secretary of the GST and Indirect Taxes Committee, C.A. Smita Mishra, the Deputy Secretary Ajay, Impreet, and all the esteemed 1,000 plus participants who are online today from across the nation. October is the month of festivities in India. Navratri, Dashera, Durga Puja, Kadwa Chauth, Diwali, and the GST Tribunal. Esteemed friends, it is a very significant month for all of us. And I also realize that today is one of the due dates for filing of the GST returns. And all of us are actually performing those duties also and joined this particular historic webcast, which is organized by the GST and Indirect Taxes Committee. At the very outset, I bow sincerely to my Lord Justice, Honorable Dr. Sanjay Kumar Mishra ji, for being very generous, for being extremely charitable and accepting the request to inaugurate this historical webcast, the GST Appellate Tribunal Filing and Procedures. Sir, sincere thanks to you from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and more particularly from the GST and Indirect Taxes Committee. We have here with us Mr. K. Balasubramanian, the person who has joined the department through lateral entry, the Department of Revenue, who himself is a chartered accountant. Sir, we sincerely thank you. We welcome you once again to the ICAI. You have been with the ICAI on numerous occasions, interacting with us on various forums. And this initiative, particularly today, which we have started, owes its beginnings to you and your own meeting with us in the recent past. We sincerely thank you, sir. We also have here with us Mr. Alok Kumar, who again is a person with an illustrious track record, having received accolades from the World Customs Organization and currently with the GSTN and ensuring that the GST landscape is smooth. Speakers, Mr. Bijoy Saha and Krishna Kumar ji, welcome once again to each and every one of you. Sir, as I speak to you today, as I'm sitting here today, I have just returned from Paris, attending the 3-day meeting of the Technical Advisory Group of the OECD, the Consumption Taxes Group, of which I'm a member. When I see India, when I see Europe, and when I see other developing nations and developed countries, I'm very proud that India has taken large strides in GST. In 2014, when I used to visit OECD, when people used to talk about how India is going to implement GST, what is going to happen, India is such a large country with so many people, so many educational barriers and whatnot, languages, connectivity. But today, when I go there, when I speak to them, they're extremely proud. They want to share us our experiences in implementing, and especially European countries, which are extremely skeptical about data sharing, which are extremely skeptical about whatever that is related to computers. India has certainly taken a long stride. India has certainly become a leader of nations when it comes to lawmaking as well as GST in India, and it owes its success to all those people who are there with us today, from Honorable Justice to Bala sir, whom we popularly call him as Bala sir, and the GSTN, the GST Council, and the CBIC, and all the stakeholders. We are extremely proud. And today's seminar, today's webcast that we are organizing will go a long way in ensuring that the filing of the appeal before the GST, all the procedural matters will reach the professionals, and it will also ensure that there is a smooth litigation resolution that happens across the board in the country. We, of course, do not look forward to any litigation. We want everything to be smooth, but then as it may happen, we cannot avoid in a GST landscape like this, leave alone India in any other country also. My proud privilege to welcome once again each and every one of you, and a sincere thank you and thanks to all of you for being with us, and especially all the participants, 1,000 plus participants who have joined us now as I speak. Esteemed friends, I once again welcome all of you and all our dignitaries and the participants in this particular program. As I proceed to conclude my address here, may I now request our very esteemed Bala sir to give a special...
Rajendra sir, my flight is about to take, so if you can call me earlier, my flight is about to take.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem. With the kind permission of Bala sir, may I request Honorable President ICI to give briefly his address, and please proceed, sir. Yes, sir. Over to you, President, sir.
Honorable Justice Mishra sir, Bala sir, Alok ji, Bijoy ji, my very esteemed chairman of the GST committee, who's doing a wonderful job, and all participants who have come here to go home more enlightened. Ladies and gentlemen, since its inception, GST has been a transformative reform, simplifying the indirect tax framework and fostering a unified national market, thereby catalyzing India's economic growth. Further, the recently introduced GST 2.0 marks a groundbreaking upgrade to India's tax system, simplifying slab rates, reduced compliance burdens, and broader exemptions to boost consumption and economic growth. You have to always take the first step. They say, सोचने से कहां मिलते हैं तमन्नाओं के शहर, सोचने से कहां मिलते हैं तमन्नाओं के शहर, चलने की जिद भी जरूरी है मंजिल पाने के लिए. The start has happened, and you know, ICI as a thought leader in taxation continues to play a pivotal role in bridging the gap between businesses, tax professionals, and policymakers. Through advocacy of best practices, dissemination of GST knowledge via technical publications, newsletters, e-learning modules, certificate course, and various outreach programs, ICI ensures that the evolution of GST remains aligned with India's broader economic objectives. The GST and the Indirect Committee has actively collaborated with central and state governments in conducting more than 142 capacity buildings programs involving 10,000 officials from state departments, central commissionates, PSUs, and other government bodies. I want to tell you that ICI has entered into 10 MOUs to develop cooperation and collaboration in capacity building, research, assistance, and policy making. And notable are with Government of Goa, Government of Jammu Kashmir, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Government of Assam, Government of Meghalaya, and zonal campuses of NACIN in Chennai, Kolkata, Patna, Bhubaneswar, and Shillong. I want to very rightly tell you that in the last 3 years, the committee has been organizing a national GST symposium, which brings together central tax, state tax, and union tax officers on one platform to foster synergy, discussions, and exchange of ideas. At the conclusion, I would like to tell you that the GSTAT was formally launched on 24 September 2025, along with unveiling of GSTAT e-code portal by the Honorable Union Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, marking the beginning of a new era in GST litigation management and institutional capacity building. Ladies and gentlemen, this webinar serves as a timely and significant initiative aimed at bridging the knowledge gap and preparing the professional community for effective filing and ensuring all procedural compliances before the GST Appellate Tribunal. I wish this webinar all success. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, Honorable Shri Mishra, for coming. I'll take your leave. I have a flight to catch. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar. Namaskar.
Thank you, Honorable President, sir, and wish you a bon voyage. And I know you are extremely busy for the next 2 days. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Esteemed invitees and participants, as I was talking to you about India's GST victory, GST, the conquering and whatever you may say, because Nandaji started with a share, I also would like to say what happened before GST and what is happening after GST. देते थे न जो जवाब, देते थे न जवाब, देते थे न जो जवाब, उनके सलाम आने लगे, वक्त बदला, मेरे नीम के पेड़ पे आम आने लगे. That is how GST has brought all nations of the world looking at us. Esteemed friends, may I now request Bala sir, Shri K. Balasubramaniam, a chartered accountant, Joint Secretary of the Department of Revenue, who is donning many hats and who is making himself and the country proud. May I request him to please give a special address to mark the beginning of this program. Over to you, Bala sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, very clear, sir.
Okay, thank you. Honorable President, Justice Sanjay Mishra ji, President of GSTAT, President of the Chartered Accountant Institute, the Chairman of the Indirect Taxes Committee, the members of the Institute, and my colleagues from GSTN and NIC who will be taking the training session today. It is indeed a pleasure for me to address all of you, my fellow chartered accountants, at this very important training session on the GSTAT appeal filing portal. In fact, from government's perspective, I feel the operationalization of GSTAT and its digital interface is a very critical step in our broader strategy of litigation management, as also the institutional strengthening, and also about improving the ease of doing business strategy of the government. And as you look at it, as the GST ecosystem has matured over a period of time, it is very natural that the volume and the complexity of the disputes have also naturally grown. At GST Council, at Department of Revenue, working with all the states, we have tried, to address some of these issues, some of these disputes, in terms of how clarifications have issued over a period of time. But having said that, a timely and a consistent institution which will provide a timely and a consistent appellate relief mechanism is very, very important, and that is where GSTAT becomes a very important and a central institution in terms of easing the burden of compliance on the taxpayers. Not only that, it also takes into itself the easing of the burden on the courts, right? Because today, because GSTAT is absent, there is some kind of a vacuum which is felt in the appellate system, which is why we have a large number of cases being filed in the high court system. And so from that point of view also, GSTAT will play a very important role in easing the burden on the courts, and it will also help in ensuring that there is uniform interpretation of law at the country level, because GSTAT is a national institution, and when we talk about GSTAT, it is when we talk about GST itself, we talk about one nation, one tax, and GSTAT will help us having a uniform implementation of GST law in the country. Now, parallel to the setting up of GSTAT, government has also taken a lot of important structural reforms, I'll not talk about the rate rationalization and other things which have happened in the last few weeks and few months, but three critical aspects which happened in the litigation management side are with respect to the pre-deposit rules which have been rationalized. That would also help us, when we start this entire GSTAT process, it will help us striking an important balance between safeguarding the revenue and also easing the compliance burden on the taxpayers. Secondly, we also looked at the monetary thresholds from a department point of view. How, because there is always a criticism that department is the largest litigator in the Department of Revenue, especially is the largest litigator in the country. And so from that point of view also, we thought that the monetary thresholds should be reasonable enough so that we don't load our appellate institutions with frivolous and unwanted litigation. So with the view of enhancing and ensuring that only material revenue cases are filed before the appellate bodies, we have enhanced the monetary thresholds both in income tax and in GST. In fact, GST we introduced it for the first time, but we introduced it in the last council, and that has also been implemented now. So this, I expect would reduce the volume of, routine appeals, repetitive appeals, and also help, the administration to focus its resources on significant legal matters alone. Third, if you look at the GST litigation, much of it is between whether it is section 73 or 74. And we took note of this particular ambiguity and anomaly, and we kind of corrected this particular provision. We implemented a new section called 74A, which provides a lot more certainty and a lot more clarity in terms of how the adjudication would work at the assessment level. So these were three important measures that we had taken in terms of how we would reduce the significant inflow of avoidable cases and also streamline the appellate pipeline so that it would make it easier, for the taxpayers to comply with the law and also for the appellate institutions to be not loaded with unwanted litigation. Now, lastly, even when we have operationalized GSTAT, we have taken a number of decisions in the last GST Council as well in terms of how the cases would be handled by GSTAT. Of course, the procedure rules the Honorable President has already implemented it. It would be an e-code system from day one. Every aspect of GSTAT would be handled in an electronic manner. But having said that, we have also taken a very important decision in terms of how uniformity can be achieved on questions of law. And from that point of view, two decisions are very critical to be highlighted here. One is where, if multiple questions of law, multiple cases related to a particular question of law is pending before two or more benches, in the country, we have taken a decision in the GST Council that particular case, with the approval of the Honorable President, would be heard by the principal bench. So this particular decision would help us in terms of getting uniformity in critical questions of law, of course, which the Honorable President would consider it important enough to take it into the principal bench and adjudicate upon. So that's one thought process that we had in the GST Council, and that with greater counsel and advice of the Honorable President, we have been able to take that decision. The second is with respect to the single member benches, which of course the Honorable President also highlighted in his inaugural address when the portal was implemented. That's a very critical component of GSTAT, where much of the cases would be below 50 lakhs, and those would not involve question of law. We have enabled a single member bench so that multiple members can sit parallelly and dispose of these low value but high impact cases very quickly so that the relief is granted from the GSTAT, in a very smoother manner. So these again, two important decisions would enable easier access and also uniformity in terms of the appellate mechanism in the country. The last aspect that I want to highlight is also with respect to the entrustment of the National Appellate Authority for Advance Ruling to the principal bench of GSTAT, which is also a critical decision which the GST Council has taken. Of course, this will be implemented from April 2026. Post the finance bill, the provision of law is part of the finance bill and gets approved by the parliament. But this again would ensure that the advance ruling, which have habit of getting disparate rulings across the country, we would have some kind of a uniformity and all merging at the level of the principal bench of the GSTAT. So these are some of the decisions that we have taken based on the wise counsels and the guidance of the Honorable President and the GST Council has received those guidance and wisely implemented them. So these would kind of enable the ease of compliance and the ease of doing business in the country as far as the litigation with respect to GST is concerned. But coming to the topic of the day, which is the GST Appellate Filing Portal, I would say that this portal itself complements some of these, policy reforms that we have implemented, by standardizing the filings, by enabling, real-time tracking, and also improving the information flow that we have. I'm sure it will allow both the taxpayers and the administration to engage with the appellate, body in a very structured and transparent manner, and this would give us some kind of a predictability in terms of resolution of our litigation in the country with respect to GST. And also for the Department of Revenue in the Ministry of Finance, it gives us a better visibility over the pending cases. It helps us prioritize the issues. It also helps us to take informed policy decisions and policy interventions where systemic patterns would emerge. So these are some of the aspects that I see as the benefit of this portal itself. So what I would like to do is that I would like to of course here acknowledge that the GSTN and NIC teams, they have been very very important partners in this journey of implementation of the GSTAT portal, and I record my appreciation for operationalizing this portal in a very efficient manner, and where it would help us is your feedback, your participation in terms of how we enable this portal in a more taxpayer friendly manner, so that we achieve the maximum efficiency from this portal that we have launched last month. So I would urge all the participants, whether they are from the trade or the industry or the legal community, the chartered accountant community. We have taken similar sessions for the government formations as well. So I would request all of you to actively engage, with the portal, with the help desk system that we have implemented, and familiar yourself, so that the appellate process, the filing process becomes more efficient, and it becomes smoother, for all of you. So that's where we thought that we would organize this training session for the chartered accountant community, and I'm very happy that the chairman of the indirect tax committee, readily agreed to take up this matter on priority, and organize this very well. And I'm sure that the participants would greatly benefit from today's session. And thanks again for the opportunity. Thanks to the Chartered Accountant Secretariat, the Indirect Taxes Committee Secretariat for organizing this and having all of us here. And thanks to the Honorable President as well for being here and sharing his thoughts with all of us. Thank you so much, and my best wishes to you.
Thank you very much, Bala sir. Really, you have taken us through the entire journey very nicely, and your message that material revenue cases will matter in GSTAT is really well taken. We're extremely happy. And as you were speaking, we had more than 1,500 professionals who have joined us in this program till now, sir. Thank you very much. And we once again assure that the GST and Indirect Taxes Committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants will be second to none in being with the government in all its initiatives in ensuring a wonderful and smooth GST policy making and its implementation. Esteemed colleagues, we have here with us a person whose name itself signifies victory. Sanjay means victory. And what a better name to have.
May I interfere a bit?
Yes,
I'm
yes, Honorable Justice.
listening to this thing. Let me start. You can
Yes.
ask me to give the inaugural address.
Yes. Honorable
Jagannatha Swami Nayanappa. Let me start. Good afternoon, friends.
Yes.
Distinguished participants, officers from the Department of Revenue, GST, NIC, members of the legal fraternity, representatives of the trade and industry, my colleagues. It gives me great pleasure to address you at this important training webinar on the GSTAT appeal filing portal. I believe this is the first webinar of its kind after opening of the portal for filing appeals before the GSTAT. And we are all part of the history in the making, not actual history, but history in the making. The establishment of the Goods and Services Tax Appellate Tribunal is a significant institutional milestone. It signals our collective resolve to strengthen the GST dispute resolution framework and to provide taxpayers and administration with consistent, credible, efficient appellate mechanism. GSTAT has been designed to function as a modern technology-enabled tribunal that delivers justice which is accessible, timely, transparent, accountable, and for this vision to be realized, the effective and smooth functioning of the appeal filing portal will play a very central and pivotal role. The portal is not just a filing interface. It is a primary gateway between the taxpayer, practitioners, and the tribunal. It is designed to be a user-friendly with clear workflow, structured forms, and built-in checks to minimize errors and delays. By enabling end-to-end digital filing, it will make the process more efficient, reduce physical interaction, ensure uniformity in the way appeals are received, processed, and then heard. Importantly, a staggered filing window has been provided until 30th June 2026. I may share my personal experience here, where the question of fixing a date for initiation of the limitation period was concerned. I had quite a few discussions with the officials of the DOR, that of the Ministry of Finance, and especially Mr. Bala and the learned Joint Secretary did agree to my proposal that the taxpayers should be given enough time for filing their appeal, so that none of the taxpayer or none of the litigant who want to file a second appeal against the first appellate order is denied justice only because of the running of limitation or the delay. And that is why on the recommendation of the Department of Revenue, of course with the due approval of the Honorable Minister of Finance, the GST Council has fixed the date as 30th June 2026 to file all old appeals. But here the important date is 1st of April 2026. It is the date from which the limitation for filing appeals will start, both for the appeals that will be filed against orders passed prior to that date, that is 31st of March, or from that date. If you see that way, if a legal interpretation is given, though 30th June 2026 has been mentioned as the last date, the tax professional and litigants must keep in mind that the limitation would in effect start from 1st of April 2026. But there is a 45 days coordination of delay provision, which is not being taken away by the staggering notification issued by the GSTAT. I would strongly encourage all the stakeholders in this process to file their appeal well in advance rather than waiting till the last moment. Early filing will help and avoid last minute rush or congestion. Enable the registry to scrutinize the cases and get it listed before the different benches in a structured manner, so that the tribunal will have the privilege of serving the taxpayers by hearing the appeals very efficiently. I am also pleased to inform that GSTAT is preparing to commence hearing from December 2025. This is an important milestone. However, this will only be possible if appeals are filed in time and the necessary preparatory work such as scrutiny, defect corrections, and scheduling is completed well in advance. I would urge all practitioners, taxpayers, department officers to use this staggered period proactively so that the cases are ready for hearing once the benches begin functioning. Our initial apprehension during my discussion with the technical team of the GSTN and NIC, as well as with the officer of the Department of Revenue, was that there may be a stampede in filing of the cases, second appeal, once you open the portal for filing second appeals. And that is the reason, on the request and technical advice of the GSTN and NIC team, and also the approval of the DOR, the GSTAT has passed the staggered notification. It is available in the portal, but our apprehensions has to somehow become a rather negative. I will not say negative, but a bit perhaps in a bit exaggerated apprehension on my side. But I have been discussing with the technical team again, and also with the officers of the Department of Revenue, and the initial apprehension of stampede of cases appears to have watered down or slowed down because of certain challenges. The first challenge is that low filing of cases. Why there is low filing of cases? As somebody has already pointed out, that it is because the extended deadline of 30th June 2026. Perhaps there is a contentment among the tax professionals as well as the SSEs to file their second appeal in time and not in a hurried manner. There is also the question of the festive seasons, because it is already pointed out by Mr. Nanda that we are going through a very festive season, especially for the Hindus, and therefore the tax professional may be more busy in their festivities, keeping in view that the time is not running out, the filing has perhaps slowed down. Secondly, there's the question of technical dependency. The registration of an authorized representative is currently tied to the ARN or CRN validation on the portal. We are having a talk on this question also, and I have been assured by the technical team that in the future, not very far in the future, but in very near future, we will be delinking the ARN or CRN from the advocate's standpoint, so that a single advocate or tax professional can file multiple cases for multiple uh, uh, taxpayers. But the most important aspect which I see as basically being a judge is that there is a low public awareness about the functioning of the GSTAT. There is need for greater publicity about the functioning of the GSTAT and the opening of the portal and also the filing schedule. And I applaud the efforts of the Indian Institute of Chartered Accountants in organizing the webinar, which will definitely go a long way to propagate this news. And in this process, I would like to suggest, if it is possible, if the stakeholders can also look into this question, whether this awareness, public awareness, can be more raised by resorting to legal awareness camps, by taking help of the national legal services authorities or the state legal services authorities. I think Honorable Justice Suryakant is the chairman, executive chairman, perhaps is the chairman of the NALSA, and if we can approach his lordship so that this portal can also be uh, given a wider publicity to an already existing network of awareness services. Another question is the professional bandwidth constant. Income tax professionals are currently occupied with the deadline for filing tax returns under the Income Tax Act. So perhaps after this 15th October, perhaps the filing will start in a speedier way for the GSTAT. We have been thinking a lot about what will be the risk of continuing or delaying the filing of the appeal in time, or not taking advantage of the staggered system. It may lead to a last minute massive loss at the dead end, that is the 30th of June. There is a potential portal overload or performance issues. This is the technical side of it. An increase in the filing defects due to hurried submissions. That will also, there is after this file, there will be defects, and then it will be a bottleneck in disposal of the cases. So my recommendation is, of course, it is not the final word. There are many technical experts who are present today. But my recommendations from my side are twofold mainly. To mitigate the risk, we should prepare and save drafts. Even if you are not ready to file right now, there may be question of pre-deposit, and because of the fact that there is a festive season and people may be needing money for other purposes, some people may want to file it after 1 month so that they can give the pre-deposit. In that case also, the portal has a system drafting the appeal and saving it so that when you are ready to file, you just have to copy paste the saved draft of the appeal. And this pre-deposit, I may also say that there is mention here that there's so many cases in which the high courts, different high courts has passed order to give a pre-deposit, and on the basis of that, a stay order has been passed. Or there is also certain circulars of the government that whenever there is a first appeal is disposed of against a taxpayer, and the taxpayer wants to challenge it in the second appeal, he can do the same as and when the GSTAT will fully functional. But in the meantime, no coercive action shall be taken against it if he makes a pre-deposit. In those cases also, those pre-deposits will not be wasted in any manner. All that has to be done by the appellant is that he has to file the appeal and file an application for exemption with the documentation of the pre-deposits he has already made. And I assure you, the tribunal will take all possible steps to see that none of the taxpayers or SSC or appellants, whichever name you call, will suffer for on that score. The second reason for early preparation is that saving the appeal in draft mode allows for a thorough review and corrections. You make a draft, then you consult other persons also, read in the meantime, and also you can improve upon the draft in different ways. So my request to all of you is that first of all, you take advantage of the staggered filing of the second appeals in a most proactive manner, and also look into the question or the suggestion given by us to prepare and save drafts and file as and when you are ready to file. Another critical aspect of today's exercise is the feedback that we will get from the different participants. We recognize that no digital system is perfect from the day one, and the real improvements comes from continuous interaction with users. We therefore attach high importance to receiving constructive feedback from all the participants. The GST and the NIC will take your input seriously to further define, refine, and improve the portal. So it remains response to the needs of the taxpayers and the practitioner. On my last speech on GST 80 launch, I have outlined 5 core principles that will guide the functioning of GST 80. That is growth with justice, speed, transparency, accountability, and technology-driven justice. The appeal filing portal is a critical instrument in translating these principles into practice. I would like to place, I think I have already exceeded the time slot that has been given to me by the organization. I thank the organizers and the officials, office bearers for having invited me to this wonderful opportunity of raising awareness. I would like to place my appreciation to the members of the GST and NICT for that dedicated work. For the last 1.5 years, I've seen these young men and women working tirelessly. In fact, they have a sitting facility in the GSTAT building itself. And one of the senior officers consultant is also sitting with us and taking our advice whenever required. We are also asking different questions to them. So I thank the combined team of GST and NIC, and the employees or the technical experts of the different service providers. Those are attached to the GST and NIC. Their efforts has ensured that the GSTAT is equipped with a strong digital backbone right from the outset. In the conclusion, I would urge all the participants to make the most of today's session. Familiarize yourself with the portal, understand the procedures clearly, file appeals early, provide constructive suggestions for improvement. Your active participation will go a long way in ensuring the GSTAT, in ensuring that the GSTAT starts its work on a firm footing and becomes a model institution in the Indian fiscal adjudication landscape. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, my Lord Justice Sanjay Kumar Mishra ji. The academician in you has flowered very well today, as usual, when you exalted everyone to do their bit of work for this particular tribunal filing, which is going to commence very soon. And you also cautioned that no digital system is perfect from day one. It is an evolving process. Sir, we from the institute assure you that we will take this initiative to each and every nook and corner of the country, including the public, and we will also talk to the authorities as you have guided us today in this particular program. The procedural matters which you have, in fact, highlighted in your speech will certainly go a long way in ensuring that whatever we do, whatever we as a profession, whatever we as professionals, we as consultants do, will help the country and will ensure that the objective for which GSTAT has been formed will be reached. Sincere thank you to you, sir, and I certainly know that you are extremely busy, even working on holidays. I've been told by my peers and also by people in the department the kind of lot of hard work that you're putting in, sir. Sincere thanks to you, sir. And once again, thank you very much. And we will certainly call on you very soon with more such initiatives and inform you about what we are doing today, sir. We seek your continued guidance. We seek your continued support, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Esteemed colleagues, we have here today with us Shri Alok Kumarji, who is from the GSTN. In fact, Alok Kumarji is a very celebrated officer, I must say, a person who has a distinguished track record, a person who is awarded the Certificate of Merit from the World Customs Organization. Currently, he holds the position of Executive Vice President Services at the Goods and Services Tax Network, and he functions as the organization's Chief Business Officer. And if GSTN is working without any glitches or minor glitches or whatever you may call it, supporting the nation in collecting the major revenue, it is also because of people like Alok Kumar, who are in the background and who work very extensively, and a very celebrated officer of Indian Revenue Service. May I request him to give a brief overview of whatever that we are going to discuss today. Over to you, Alok ji.
Thank you. Thank you for providing me the opportunity. Honorable President GSTAT, Honorable President ICAI, and Honorable Chairman Indirect Tax Committee ICAI, and my colleague JS from DUR, Bala sir. Thank you for providing me this opportunity to take this extensive page by page training module what we have developed through NIC. They will take the session throughout how the GSTAT filing is done, so that whatever doubts are there in the mind of a body like the stakeholders, they can be mitigated, and they are ready to filing, as Honorable President urged, that after Diwali, hopefully that people will take advantage of this staggering order issued by Honorable President and start filing so that the rush can be avoided at the last moment when this limitation applies. So I will just briefly give the outlook as to how the GSTAT portal is. Many of the sessions have already been taken by the NIC team for the officers. Now it is the taxpayers' turn. So it is a 24/7 e-filing portal which eliminates geographical and time-based barriers. Appeals and documents can be filed from an office or home. And online, we have a defect management system where the portal proactively notifies users of filing defects via SMS or email. Corrections can be made via refiling online within a stipulated time, drastically reducing the risk of cases being dismissed on minor technicalities. And even we can, in the desktop mode, we can operate from the mobile. We have the case status, hearing status, and orders can be checked on the go while traveling. We can check it on the mobile, providing flexibility that aligns with modern work practices. So then there is a federated login SSO. Single sign-on that users can log in using their existing GST portal credentials. So whatever they have been using in the GST portal, the username and password, the same username and password can be used to log in on the portal. The ARN and CRN, what Honorable President was speaking just beforehand, is the same ARN and CRN which was the acknowledgement receipt number they received in the first stage filing. So that is how we have staggered, because that was the only online print that we are having on the portal to identify the genuine taxpayers who are probable the taxpayers who would go in the second stage filing on the portal. So that's why we have kept that ARN CRN to filter out the genuine taxpayers for filing, and that's why we have given it during the time of staggering. This ARN CRN is mandatory for filing. Now, as a automatic benefit of the online portal, this is the auto-populated data which is indirectly fetched from the GSTN database. So all those APL 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 which are there in the system automatically gets fetched by this portal and will auto-populate while filing. So this minimizes the manual entry and also the mistakes which leads to defects in the filing process can be minimized and save lot of time in this process of filing. So I urge again to the members of ICI fraternity and those participants who have joined this webinar to come forward and utilize this. And as Honorable President has stated, that at least save it in the draft stage. The Excel sheet you can prepare. Those Excel sheets have been made carefully after a lot of hard work by this NIC team, and they have made a replica schema in the Excel sheet, and wherever the defects will be pointed out while filing, that can be reduced at the draft stage itself. So you will be prompted for correction therein. So try once, twice, nothing, no harm in starting filing and trying. After your income tax audit process gets over, then you can straight away go into this indirect taxation. So pay your slight of your busy schedule into this application. It is a nicely nice application dovetailed with the GST features, GSTN, what we have given in the how we have facilitated the trade in filing of the returns, invoices, and e-way bill from the date of onboarding of the new GST Act from 2017 onwards, seamlessly we are working towards facilitating the trade, giving a uptime of 99.95%. So that we hope we have built the GSTAT application also with that sense of alertness. And this is how we can check the real-time case tracking also in this application. We have given this feature where they can know where it is pending. As I already said, that automatic notifications are provided for the alerts. Then the document access is secured with the high level of security audit that has been done on the application. So you can be assured that no data breach is possible in this application. So you can file this appeals fearlessly. Now I will talk little bit about the digital payments, which how we have integrated these gateways like Bharat Kosh, and those have been for the filing of court fees, and this online filing can be made. The pre-deposits can be made online. This paperless workflow will also reduce cost associated with printing. Then also the dispatch of those orders, couriering cost, then storage cost will be saved. Huge amount of storage is required because as per the initial estimate, more than 6 lakhs cases would be the probable cases which may be filed in the second stage appellate forum. So the huge amount of paper load that comes with it, immediate storage cost can be avoided with this online filing. That's why we have in rules and procedures of GSTAT in rule number 115 we have given of the online filing, and that's why we have kept this entire GSTAT automated system, and in line with what GST Act wherein it says about the electronic structure of the GST that was launched in 2017, and the same flavor we have given, we have tried to give in the GSTAT portal also. So even we have kept in the provision of the virtual hearings, which were not seen in the times, and we had just got initiated to it during the COVID era, and it was on the optional basis. Here also we have kept it optional, and it saves significant cost on travels, and because many people from the state, in the cases where the uh, the central bench of GSTAT will be hearing these cases. It will save significant cost if those people participate in the proceedings through these virtual hearings. So I will urge again the taxpayers and the stakeholders to apply file during this after this festival time if you are engaged now, and give us a feedback. Go through this webinar. We have carefully prepared every page of it, and NIC team will take you through, and also will answer most of your queries. In case some things cannot be answered, you can always give us a feedback through ICAI. We have been interacting with them, and we have been doing many upgradation on a portal with the suggestions from ICAI, and what current design you are seeing in the IMS and all, they have prepared together with us in GSTN, and return filing has been made a very flawless and smooth filing is happening because of their regular interaction with us. And we look forward to ICI again in this point where GSTAT is launched, and now it is raring to go when the filings start coming in. Thank you thank you once again. Thank you once again, ICI, for this opportunity. I now hand it over to the to my NIC team.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Alokji, for
Thank you.
bringing out very nicely the multifarious roles of chartered accountants in income tax and indirect taxes. In fact, it will be not out of place to say you wished us very good festival times. But then the October 20th happens to be the last day of filing of GST return, and it is also the Diwali day, October 20 and 21, Lakshmi Puja and Diwali. So we'll be fully there to support the entire nation, as the case may be, subject to the due dates. And yes, the GST and Indirect Taxes Committee of ICI is always at your beck and call. We are there whenever you want us. You have certainly taken our views in a very, very positive way. We have ensured that our experts are available to you whenever required. We will certainly continue this legacy, continue this trend, and continue the work that we do. Friends, now we have two speakers who are going to take us through today, Krishna Kumar Yadavji and Bijoy Saha. In fact, these two gentlemen come from NIC. Bijoy Saha is a senior technology consultant with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, MBA in operations. In fact, he brings an extensive experience in ERP implementation and digital transformations that he has done successfully across the nation in taxation, in manufacturing, in defense sector also. In the GST Appellate Tribunal, his key role is very much evident in this particular formation of this the links and also the filing system that is going to be implemented or is being implemented soon. He is an expert and who is always available for the purpose of technology and ensuring the technology is at the reach of a common man. Very warm welcome to Bijay Sahaji. We'll certainly take your expertise in the days to come, also not only limiting to this webinar. And we have here also Sri Krishna Kumar Yadavji, a business analyst from NIC again, a person who has played a key role in development of the RERA activities of the Uttar Pradesh Appellate Tribunal and contributions to the e-governance projects of the Railway Claims Tribunal, the NCLT, and other activities of NIC. He is a key resource in NIC, ensuring that the technology initiatives of NIC reach the common man. Yes, NIC is today certainly a big and above all a safe name in implementation of technology. Over to both of you, sir. We all look forward to your guidance.
Thank you everyone. Hope we are audible.
Yes, very clearly.
Yes, sure. Thank you everyone. Good afternoon. Honorable President GSTAT, ICI President, Indirect Tax Committee Chairman, Bala sir, JSDOR, and Alok sir, EVP GSTN. Thank you for providing this opportunity and thank you for arranging such a webinar on this large scale for helping our friends over here to understand how GSTAT process workflows happens. So I'll request Krishna sir to please start the presentation. Next. So GSTAT Tribunal is a second level appellate tribunal which is fully digitized. So here in the screen we can see the few features like 24/7 digital access. It is in paperless system. We are able to track and monitor the cases thoroughly via dashboards. Hybrid virtual hearing facilities are available. There is an extensive document management system. The members, the honorable registry team have the access of the documents via digital access. The communication with the respondent, appellant to the registry team happens via digital communications. OTPs, real-time SMS status of the cases are communicated via online SMS and both via SMS and email. And we do have incident management system. Users, while if they face any issues, have the access to log into their incident management. They raise an issue, create a ticket, and that same ticket would be forwarded to CRM team, where our team can analyze those issues and can rectify the mistakes. Now moving forward. So, friends, let's discuss briefly go through the digitized case life management in GST Appellate Tribunal. So, we start with user registration. So, all the types of users, taxpayers, tax officers, authorized representative, which includes lawyers, CA, CS, and other sub user types, have to first come in our GSTAT portal and register themselves based on their GSTN ID, BO ID, or their respective email ID and mobile number if they are authorized representative. Once the users are registered, they can log into GSTAT application and can start filing their appeal using ARN CRN. So a lot of questions we can see are there that what happens to the cases which do not have ARN CRN present, or in a matter to say that the cases are still in manual mode and not present in digital or online mode. So those cases, as of the current advisory or the presidential order, can be filed after the February, and the limitation of those cases are till 31st of June 2026. So a lot of cases are not in manual mode. Most of them are in digital mode. So maximum cases can be filed online in a staggering way, which would be explained in further slides. Next, after the e-filing, once the user starts e-filing, the next after filling the details, basic details and order details, the user have to do the payments for the pre-deposit and as well as for the court fees. A small note on this, that only taxpayer filing has to be done for has to be done for pre-deposit and court fees. Tax officer filing does not need any kind of payments or court fees payments. So this is a difference between a tax officer filing and taxpayer filing. Once the case has been successfully filed by the user, the case lands in the scrutiny or the case management system or to the registry system, where the registry team thoroughly scrutinize each and every document and raise any defect if some documents are missing or some errors are identified, that are thoroughly communicated in a digital manner to the users, informing that so and so defects are present, please come and rectify it. And after the rectification is done, they can refile the appeal once again. And once it is submitted, the scrutiny team or the registry team will again check the documents thoroughly. If no defects are present, those cases will be forwarded for case registrations. And once the case are registered, then then the tribunal process starts, that the registry process starts, like the listing of the cases, cause list creation, so on and so forth. And once the case has been registered, then only application, any additional document or cross objection by the respondent can be filed against that particular appeal. So friends, please note down this point, that the cross objection, that is in reply or any application or any additional document with respect to a particular appeal, can only be filed once the case is successfully registered. So yes, once the case is successfully registered, we can file the cross objections. And once the case has been registered, the whole registry process, that is listing, hearing, case proceeding, takes place. And after that, at some point of time, the judgment comes, the final order comes, and that based on that particular order, the demand that are being blocked by the system are modified digitally via an API, application programming interface. So the user does not have to manually take out the order copy and then fill it somewhere in GSTN system. The GSTAT application itself will forward the information to GSTN system, and the GSTN system will modify the ledgers accordingly based on the order. The users have the functionality to track their cases, monitor the status of the cases from the GSTAT portal, and can track the orders as well, both daily orders and the final orders. So friends, this was just a very brief overview of the case life management in GSTAT application. Moving forward, we can see how the application is built or structured. So we can see there are four sections in this particular slide. So going one by one. First is the e-filing system. So e-filing system is the most important part of GSTAT web application. Here is the system where users comes and file their appeal. So there are few types of user we can see in the screen. There are actually four. First is the taxpayer. Second is the tax officer. Third is the authorized representative. So authorized representative comprises a bunch of other sub-users, for example, advocates, uh, uh, chartered accountants, company secretary, and various other types of authorized representative related to GST and process. The other one is the any other users. These are the specific types of government users which can be added in the cases with respect to some with as an respondent or as an for virtual hearing purposes. So below that, we can see some of the functionalities that the e-filing system provides, like registration, online filing, reports and reply filing, online payment, online case document access, online pleading access, and access to the order copy and the judgment copy. Moving forward is our second module, which is called case information system. So this module is for the registry team, specifically GSTAT registry team. So the scrutiny reporter, honorable members, court officers, registrars, or assistant registrar, all those users would be using the system. So this system workflow starts from the scrutiny process. Once the case has been filed, the case along with the documents will be received digitally by the users over in case information system. They will thoroughly check and scrutinize the documents, raise defects if necessary, register the cases. Once the case has been registered, they will proceed with bench creation, cause list creation, listing of the case proceeding, and finally creation of the judgment or the order. Moving forward is the document management system. So this is a sub-module which is directly not accessible via a public URL. It is incorporated inside e-filing and case information system, and this is nothing but an accessibility to the digital form of the documents. So both e-filing users and case information system users have the access to DMS based on their access and role. So here the users can come and check the various documents, the APL order copies, APL forms over here. Next are the various integrations that our GSTAT applications have been incorporated. This is not the exhaustive list. This is the main list of the integrations. Going on in futures, there might be other integrations that might be incorporated in GSTAT applications. So for example, Bharat Kosh online payment, digital signing utilities, integration with the GST system for fetching the case details and also forwarding the order copies to the GSTN system. All those types of integrations have been currently present in our GSTAT web applications. So that was a very brief introduction or theory related to GSTAT application. Now we'll move forward for the actual live demo of how the application works and how to move forward with the appeal filing. So team, we can see we have opened our staggering page. So team, just a note, this is not the actual environment that the general users have access to. This is our testing environment. So the data inside is a dummy data, and this is only for the demonstration purpose. But the actual production environment would be as similar as that what we are looking in our screen. And I hope everyone has the access to the URL of the application. If not, we will be providing the same in the chat box as well as over emails. So starting, this is our e-filing page. So once we click our URL, we'll be landing in this particular page, and this particular page is called as the GSTAT staggering page. So here, first of all, going one by one, we can see first we have the toll-free number. So friends, if we face any sort of issues, technical issues related to web application, like we are not able to proceed or some data is not coming, we can anytime call on this toll-free number. The team is present. They would help us and guide us on how to proceed further. Next, we can see 4 tabs going them one by one. First is the e-filing user manual. So once we click here, we can see there are 10 user manuals based on the topics. First is the registration, second is the help center, third is appeal filing and others. So friends, I would request each one of you kindly go through this particular manuals. This is an exhaustive manuals prepared by our team so that user gets an understanding on how the GST application works. Next are the videos or the tutorial videos that we have provided. So friends, we have provided various videos related to our process flows. For example, registration, on how to file an appeal, how to file documents, and how to proceed with the refiling. So friends, I would again request that these are very informative videos which would be helpful in understanding how to proceed with the GSTAT appeal filing.
Hello and welcome to this tutorial on the GST Appellate Tribunal Board. In this video, you will be guided through the registration process, step by step. Our goal is to provide you with a clear understanding of how the registration procedure works, enabling you to complete it easily, efficiently, and accurately.
So friends, our next tab is e-filing template. So this is something that Honorable President Sir was telling about, that we have provided a draft e-filing template as well, so as to familiarize the users on what are the actual fields and parameters that would be asked in actual appeal filing in this particular web application. So let's go through this once. So firstly, if we open this Excel sheet, we can see various sheets over here, or what we call as tabs, starting with the checklist. So checklist are the few parameter points based on which defects are raised in GSTAT application. So it is usually recommended that the users are in compliance with all of the particular points mentioned in the checklist. It is requested to the users that they come and read each and every point in this checklist and comply with them. Next, we start in the order details sheet. So this is the sheet that would be actually starting with in our application. So first, we can see that ARN CRN available option is there. That is the mode of filing. Are we filing through ARN CRN or not? So friends, coming back to the previous question, that for time being, filing an appeal without ARN CRN is not allowed. That would be allowed later. As of now, only the cases for which ARN CRN is available with the users are allowed, which covers most of the cases in our GST environment. So users, we can see that these are the various tabs over here. So it is recommended that user come here, fill the details once here, instead of going to the website and checking each field and coming back again and discussing one by one, which would take a lot of time. Instead, they can come here, check what are the required parameters that have been asked, discuss it with their maybe authorized representative, and then fill it accordingly and prepare the draft Excel sheet. Now moving forward. Last is the presidential order or the advisory tab. So all the latest notices, advisory, or any orders that would be released would be accessible over here. Currently, we have two advisories. One is the presidential order on the staggering functionality. So users can come and check the dates, their respective dates on on which time period the respective case falls and can file accordingly, and would request the users to please follow this particular page for any further notices or advisories. Now, friends, we can see the important information is text is provided over here. It states that what is the date period that has been allowed for the time. So we can see that cases prior to 31st of January 2022 are allowed till now. As and when the time frame comes for the next time slot, this would be updated. So user can keep in track on here as well. Next, we would be proceeding on how to log in to the landing page. So users, as most of the friends present over here are authorized representative. So we can see in the role, we have two options. First is taxpayer, tax officer, authorized representative. Second is nodal, subnodal, AR nodal. So as we want to file an appeal either as a taxpayer, tax officer or authorized representative, we will be selecting this particular option. And as of now, the current functionality is that the user is expected to have their ARN number for which they would want to file an appeal and then proceed. So we will be showing how this works. So friends, we have inserted one ARN number which is correct and present in the system but does not fill in the prescribed time period. So if we try to proceed, we can see a disclaimer message comes up stating that the ARN does not qualify for the current window of filing. We are advised that to check the dates and come back again when the applicable window opens. Next, friends, we'll try with an ARN number which is at all not present in our GSTN system. So friends, we got a new disclaimer stating that the ARN CRN does not exist in the GSTN records only. So we have been advised to verify the GSTN ARN number and come again. Now the use case is that we will be proceeding with an correct ARN, which is within the time period. So now we can see the disclaimer that our ARN CRN is what is the order there, and it has been verified and we have been asked to proceed to file our case. Now we'll click on confirm. Now we have landed on the GSTAT application landing page. So friends, we can see few details over here like about us. So it gives a brief description on what is GSTAT Appellate Tribunal all about. Below, we can see the statistics, like what are the total number of users are registered and what are the total number of cases have been filed and so on and so forth. Next is the few of the information related to GSTAT environment, like the case information system, case tracking, e-filing, a very brief gist about what are the functionalities about. Next, we have videos, the same videos we say in the staggering pages. Any other relevant videos that would be coming in future will also be accessible from here itself. Next, we can see the GSTAT locations and the addresses, the head office, and we have provided few of the important links that might be helpful to the users. Going them one by one. First is the cause list. Next is the case status. So for example, we want to track any status of the cases which are relevant to us. We can select our location, search by a case number, or we have few other options as like the filing number or by party. For this use case, we'll be using the case number. We'll select our case type, whether it is an appeal or any other type of applications. For this purpose, we'll select appeal. We'll enter our case number. We'll select our case. We'll enter the right captcha. So now we can see that the status of the case. So an exhaustive summary about the case pops up. We can see the parties involved. We can see the filing number, date of filing, what is the registration date, what is the status of the case, and what was the disposal date if the case has been disposed. We can check details of the respondents or the applicants, who were the authorized representatives. In this particular case, there was no authorized representative. When was the first hearing? When was the last hearing? If there is next hearing detail, it would be informed as well. Case history is also provided, and all the orders that have been issued against this particular case are also accessible. And if there are any applications, they are also accessible through here. And if particular any connected cases are over here with respect to your case, that also will be shown over here. Now we have seen the functionality of our landing page. Friends, will move forward to our help center. So friends, we have tried to make it as user friendly as possible. So we know that instead of just providing a toll-free number is not always helpful, because sometimes there are some issues which need some documentations or some sorts of incident ticket creation as well. So we tried to be as exhaustive as possible, and we'll be explaining how we are trying to help our user with it. So first and foremost is the e-filing user manual. So this is the same user manual that we saw in the staggering page. Any updates or any changes if happens in future will be incorporated in this user manual, and the user will be able to access the updated user manual from here. So we can see the manual has been started as downloading. So it will be downloaded. Next is the Bharat Kosh. So with respect to payments also, there might be some queries or doubts. So we have provided the user guide for the Bharat Kosh portal. The user are able to directly navigate to the Bharat Kosh portal clicking here. We have provided our toll-free number over here. Now we have provided the frequently asked questions as well. As we know, there are some simple queries which most of the user have. So I've tried to encapsulate the few of them. As and when requirement occurs, we will be updating this FAQs as well. But as of now, some of the general questions are answered over here. Next, our game changer, what we call as our incident management. So any type of user face any type of issue can come to our landing portal, click on the incident management, and can create a ticket. So this ticket can be for both administrative and technical issues. Will show how to proceed with it. The user will fill their name, mobile number, their email ID, the user will select their roles. For example, we'll select as a taxpayer for this use case. The user will select their identifying number, for example, GSTN number. And then the user will finally select the type of issues. Firstly, as is it technical or administrative? So for example, we selected as technical. Based on the type of issues, our categories will be populated. So we have tried to encapsulate as many as modules or functionalities as possible in this. So, for example, an user is facing some issues with respect to refiling. The user will select refiling, and accordingly the subcategory that what kind of issues in refiling the user is facing, we have provided that as well. If not, the user can always select any other and proceed, and can in detail explain their issues in issue description tab provided next. The user can also upload any screenshot if required, which is not mandatory but always advisable, and they will finally fill their CAPTCHA. So as soon as we submit it, the user will get their ticket number as shown in the screen. The user are requested to save this or copy this number, click on OK. And the same ticket can be later tracked as well. The user can again come back to Help Center, click on Track Your Issues, enter the incident ID, enter the CAPTCHA, click on Submit, and can see the status of the ticket that have been created. So this ticket status keeps on updating as and when actions are taken place. So as of now, we have just opened it, so it is showing as open. Now moving forward, we have what we call as registration module. We'll go to user registration. So we can see that we have 4 types of users as explained previously. So for this use case, we will see how authorized representative or legal representative can register themselves. So we have the subtype of representative. They will be selecting what categories they fall into. So for example, we'll select with CA. Now the user have to select that who they are representing, whether they are representing the taxpayer or the tax official. They will fill their name. They will fill their registration or enrollment number. They will fill AIBI number if available, else it is not mandatory. They will fill their address details, fill their login ID, their desirable login ID. They will fill their mobile number. So as I have entered my number, I have received the OTP. I will be filling it. So we can see that my number is verified. Now I will fill my email.
Bijoy, we are not able to hear your voiceover.
Yes, sir. Now am I audible?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Sir, I'm waiting for the OTP, sir. So, team, I have received the OTP. I'll fill the OTP. I'll enter the captcha and I can see that my email ID has also been verified. I'll click on submit and next. I'll upload the document. So the document type, we have to upload two types of document. First is the registration certificate or the enrollment number certificate that we have with us. And second is the photo, that is in passport size photo. So we'll upload the document. We'll fill the document number. We'll select the file. We'll enter the captcha. Now I'll proceed with uploading a photo of mine, passport size photo. I'll enter the captcha. So we can see in below, we have uploaded both the documents required. I'll click on final submit. Now I receive a message that I am successfully registered as an advocate and I would be receiving the information via both my email ID and my SMS and I would be able to log in. So friends, once the password is received, the system would ask you to change your first password and you will be able to proceed from there onwards. Now we will be proceeding for appeal filing from a taxpayer login. Now, friends, let us also show you how to change the password for the first time. I have received the email ID, the credentials. Now, I am asked to enter my old password that I received over the email. Now, I am expected to fill in a new password as per my comfort. But there are some validation we can see in the side of the page, like it should have one alphabet, one capital letter, one number, and one special characters. Now I would be able to log in and proceed with my functionalities. Now we'll move with an appeal filing from taxpayer login. So team, we have to use the valid ARN number. We'll fill the captcha. We'll click on submit. We'll click on login button. I'll log in using my credentials. In this particular scenario, I will use my GSTN number and my password. I'll fill the captcha. So this is the first landing page inside when I log in. I'll be asked to click on continue. A disclaimer would pop up stating that all the details I would be proceeding hereward are true to my best of knowledge and no other cases has been filed for this particular ARN as well. I'll comply on this. For that, I'll click on agree. I'll click on continue and I will land on my dashboard. So friends, here in the dashboard, we can see few tabs like draft cases, payment, online and offline, and e-file cases. So is this a dummy environment? So we have already tested out a case, few cases. So here we can see the numbers. But for the first timers, everything would be zero as there would be no cases filed. So coming here, we can see the GSTAT logo. We have the change password option, logout option, and direct home button. Here the user can come and verify that this is their respective login only. They will be able to say their respective IDs. Now we have few tabs over here which will be explaining you one by one. So first is the appellant corner. So team, when I as a user would want to file an appeal or would have already filed an appeal, I would be called as an appellant. So all my access or all my functionality would be present in this appellant corner. So for example, if I'm an taxpayer, I would want to file an appeal. I would come in appeal. I would click in the appellant corner. If I would want to file an appeal or application, I would click on filing. I would click on appeal filing or application filing as per my use case. If I want to file any additional document with an already existing appeal, I would click here. If I want to proceed with refiling, I have received some defect information from the registry team. I would come and click on refiling and it would be proceeded accordingly. So this was the appellant corner. Next is the respondent corner. So team, in some scenarios, I as an user might have been added as a respondent by other party, and I would be required to, for example, file and reply or file any application or file document or refile my cross objection or refile if any defects have been identified. On those scenarios, I would be accessing my cases from respondent corner. So this is a basic difference between what is accessible in appellant corner and what is accessible in respondent corner. In one cases, and same user might be an appellant, so he will access that cases from appellant corner. In another case, he might be a respondent. In that case, he would be accessing the respective functionality from the respondent corner. Now my third is my account. My account is a uh, uh, comprehensive module to access all of my appeals, all of my applications, all of my cross objections, access my case documents, if any, access my transaction history. So this is an exhaustive list of all the functionality, all the processes or all the appeals that are linked to my profile. Next is the download e-sign tool functionality that we have provided. First is for one is for Windows, one is for Linux. So friends, what is it? During the e-filing, the document have to be digitally signed. So we have provided three types of functionalities. One is Aadhaar sign, one is NIC DSC utility, and one is the third party utility. So for the using NIC DSC utility functionality and for configuration your digital signature to your app to this particular application, this configuration file is required. So user have to simply come over here, select the type of operating system, whether it is Windows, Linux, and click on this file, download it, and it will be self-configured. So now we'll start with how to file an appeal. So we'll come in our login, we'll click on appellant corner, we'll click on appeal filing. Now I have the functionality to select filing through. I'll select ARN CRN available because in production environment, so here also we'll have to agree to the declaration that this is the first appeal for this particular ARN and no other appeal for this respective case is ongoing. Then we will enter the ARN CRN related to APL 01 or APL 02 or 03 or related to any revisional order. We'll click on submit. And the basic details of the order, like the GST number this particular ARNA related to, which ideally should be the respective GST number from which I am logging, or which is authorized by the appellant to the authorized representative only. If we try to file any appeal as of now from the taxpayer login, which is not related to their GST number, that particular ARN, the system would not allow it to proceed further. We'll verify our order date and order number. We'll click on select. So it means that I have verified my details and I would be able to proceed with the next step of the filing. Below, the user would be able to see the order details related to their order details of the case, like the order appeal against, was it against April 04 or April 02? What is the name of the revisional or the appellate authority? What is the order, revisional order number? What was the name of the appellant? What was the type of the order? The name, the designation of the passing order passing authority. Below we can see the order ID of the original adjudicating authority. What was the period of dispute? And we can also see the impunged order, that is the April 04, or in some cases it might be April 02 rejected. Now we can click on this PDF and that particular impunged order would be accessible to for verification. The user can check whether this is the order that they are referring to. Now below, we have provided a functionality that the user can come and say that no, this is not the order. After that, one other updated order or revisional order was passed, but which is not showing in the system, as because that it might not have been uploaded in the GSTN system. So in those scenarios, the user can click on this is not my order, and all those details would be removed, and the user will be asked to fill the updated orders and to update the updated impunged order, upload over here, and then proceed accordingly. But for the use case, for this use case, we would be proceeding with confirm button. Next is the basic details tab. Here the user will be filling the basic details related to their cases. First is the act they would be selecting. The section would be auto-populated based on this type of the act. They can add more than one act as well. Now next is the case type. So based on my selection earlier, the case type is already populated that I am filing an appeal. Next is one of the important question while filing an appeal that the user should be very mindful of, that the question asks that does the appeal or application involve any issues over which only principal bench has jurisdiction in terms of provisioning of the act or rules notified made issued thereunder. So it means that the system is asking that does this particular appeal or application has jurisdiction which falls under principal bench only. So user has to carefully understand it and select it as yes or no, because based on this particular selection of yes and no, if it is selected as yes, this particular case will be forwarded to principal bench only, irrespective of their original jurisdiction of the case. So for example, I'm selecting that this is no for this case. Next is the jurisdiction of the appellate or the revisional authority, whether it is under state or center. So for example, I'm selecting as center. Next, I would be asked to select what was the zone of my that particular center. So for example, I am selecting Delhi. Or if I want to select any state, the state of that particular, the state list would be populated over here. And again, if I select, so now this particular case would fall in nodal office of the Delhi state nodal. This means that now, for example, if I select it as yes, it says that irrespective of the jurisdiction, this case will fall to principal bench, because the user is telling that this has some issues involved which is related to only principal bench. Next, the user has to select if their order was the original order was passed by any common adjudicating authority. They will select it as yes or no. Next, they would be selecting that which appellate authority passed the particular case. So based on our selection of this appellate authority, this list would be populated, and this is dynamic. So for example, we will select one of the values and we will move to next tab, that is the case details tab. Now in case details tab, user are expected to fill the details of the cases, their prayers, grounds of appeal, their issues in details. And we have provided the character limit to 2000 characters. If the user wants to add more, they can surely add it as an additional document, and will show in the coming tab how to upload the document. But here briefly the user has to come and fill their details about their grounds of appeal, prayer and issues. Now, team, as we know that there is an e-filing draft present, which we can access via staggering page. So this is what we were referring to earlier. It would be very beneficial for the users if we can access this particular tab, fill the details accordingly to their cases and their response and their pleadings, and can then come to the website and fill the details from copy pasting from the Excel sheet that was prepared by the user earlier on. So it would reduce the redundancy of coming to the website, then discussing and then brainstorming on particular parameters. Instead, the user can do that earlier in the Excel sheet and come in the website fully prepared. So here we can see the character limit are 2000 characters. Next is the category of cases. So users have to be very careful on selecting their type of category of cases. So here total we have around 38 category of cases. First is misclassification of goods. So if your category of cases is misclassification of goods, then HSN of that particular good has to be mandatorily filled, and it is not to be filled manually. This user can simply select their goods. For example, this one, and it will be populated. This is also driven directly from the GSTN system. The user will fill if any amount was involved or not. The user can add more than one category of cases. For example, the user says this has the wrong applicability of notifications issued. Then the user will select this. They will fill the notification number and select the notification date, mention amount involved if it was any. The user can also select other categories for which they will have to select the respective GSTN section and GSTN rules and keep on adding if required. Next is the case summary. So case summary involves what are the issues that are related to this particular cases. So based on our type of orders, that is whether it is demand order, enforcement order, LUT orders or other type of orders, the issues are related to are dependent on this. So maybe as because this is a demand order, this is the four types of issues related to. For enforcement order, the issues related to can be different. The user should thoroughly check what are their issues related to, select that particular issue, and also fill the details that what happened as per the adjudicating authority, as per the appellate authority, as per the appellant before the tribunal, and as previous as declared by the present appellant. So here we also have given a character limit of 2000 characters. The user should ideally fill the details based on their selection over in the draft. Just checking with Impreet, am I still audible? I hope there is no issues.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. So next is about appellant. So about appellant, we have we have given a pop-up box informing the users on what details are ideally expected to be filled in this particular tab. So here the appellant has to mention about their constituent of business and the respective details. So user can click on about appellant and the pop-up would come up. The user will fill the details then. Next is the statement of fact or the case history. So here, if any additional details the user wants to mention in front of the tribunal, any action the based on the action by maybe appellate tribunal or the revisional authority or appellant or any other users, the user is free to add statement of or case history as per uh, their understanding. They can add a brief narration over here. And the user is allowed to add more than one case history as much as they want to add, depending on the scenario and use case. Now users, we can see that we have filled our case details. We'll move to the next tab, that is the appellant tab. So users, the appellant details are populated based on the login. So our system recognizes that this is an GSTN users and what are the details. So it is populated from there. So user can verify it and then proceed to next. Now we land on the respondent tab. So users, if you can see, one respondent is already added automatically. So this is the same respondent which is added because of because the selection of the appellate authority and the jurisdiction in our basic details page. So based on that, the required nodal office has been already added as the respondent. If required, the user can add other respondent as well. Now we'll click on save and we can see that we have added Krishna as a respondent as well. Also, it is to mind that the user or the respondent added by the appellant can only be edited. The one coming based on the jurisdiction selection cannot be edited. Now the user will move to next, that is add authorized representative. So here we can see, so user a very important point to note that the values would be populated, that is the name would be coming over here only and only once the user has been registered as authorized representative as shown earlier in this demonstration. So if the user is not registered, the name would not be populating over here. So now as I have registered myself, I would be able to select myself. So I can see that I'm able to add myself. I can check the details. Also, I have the functionality, or if any users they want to represent themselves and are not dependent on any authorized representative, they can also select themselves as they don't. They can select in person, which would indicate that the user itself would be acting as an authorized representative, and he would be only presenting his case for himself. Now I'll click on next. So friends, as because this is a demand order, the user are advised to check this tab very carefully. First, we can see in demand details, we have two sections, pre-deposit and court fees. So currently we are in the pre-deposit tab inside the demand details, and inside the pre-deposit, there are also three tabs. First is the demand confirmed, second is the demand dispute admitted and disputed, and third is based on our admitted amount, what is the amount that has been calculated which I need to pay as a taxpayer. So friends, as this is a dummy data, so we don't have much data over here, but still we can see that in integrated tax, it states that determined amount in DRC 07 was 100 for tax and interest. For the disputed amount in APL 03 was 50 and 50, and the determined amount in APL 04, that was 60, 60 and 16. Okay. Now we'll confirm the details. Now, based on what was the determined amount, the user is expected to fill what they want to admit in front of GST 80. So here, as 60 rupees was determined in integrated tax in tax component. So a team for state tax and central tax, the user can directly fill over here. But for integrated tax, user has to click here and fill the details with respect to each state that is involved. So here the determined was 60. I am telling that for Assam, I am admitting only 20. And maybe I would like to add one more state. For example, Delhi. I would add 20, 10, for example. And I will click on submit. So friends, now in demand admitted tab, I'm stating that for single financial year, I am accepting that out of 60, I am accepting that only 30 I am admitting of the disputed amount. And based on this, my exception, my demand amount under dispute becomes 30, because 60 minus 30 is 30, and amount payable becomes 33. It's 30 plus 10% of my amount under dispute. So it's 30 plus 3 equal to 33. So the values or the pre-deposit amount is also calculated in our system based on our admitted amount, what the user admits. And in the final total column, we can see what is our total amount payable with respect to each of the particulars, that is tax, interest, penalty. Now I'll click on save and next. And now here as an user, I would declare that this particular amount, pre-deposit amount, has been exempted by some high court, or I am not in line with this particular calculation in the system. So I can upload my self calculation sheet as per my understanding, and that self calculation sheet would be ideally expected to be uploaded in the upload documents tab. If also if amount is exempted by higher court order, by any higher court, I am expected to fill that how much amount it is, how much percentage has been exempted. For example, I'm telling 100% has been exempted, then I would not be required to pay any pre-deposit amount. But for example, I'm stating that no, I do not have any exam amount exempted, or I do not have any other self calculation. The calculation in the system is correct. I would select it as no. I would click on save and proceed to payment. Now in totals, I can see that what is my total amount payable. Now the user is ideally requested to go to the GSTN system, log in with their GSTN account, and do the payment based on this calculation. So user will be going to the GSTN system, doing the payment, coming over here and refreshing it to see the value become 0. Now my payment is confirmed. I am allowed to proceed for the appeal fee payment. That is the court fees payment. Now I will be moving from pre-deposit to court fees. Now court fees is calculated. The system will show how much amount has to be paid and how much amount is remaining. The user has the functionality to pay either via the online mode or via the Bharat Kosh offline mode. So if the user selects online and click on continue, the system will redirect the user to Bharat Kosh portal, where the user is expected to complete their payment and come back here. The payment would be auto reflected. If not, the user can go directly to Bharat Kosh portal, do the payment there, and come back here again and provide the reference number of that particular payment. We have also included the user guide of Bharat Kosh portal for clarity to the users. Now we'll fill the details for this use case. Now we'll check the status as success. Now we are able to proceed to final submit. Now our both payment, that is pre-deposit and court fees payment, are done. We'll be proceeding to our document upload tab. Now the users, we have provided few important information here itself, like only PDF files to be uploaded. Ideally, the file should be scanned in grayscale with 300 dpi. Number of each pages should not be more than 100 pages, but we have no limits on the total number of documents. So user can upload as many as mandatory or required documents as per their understanding. Also, the maximum file size should be less than 20 MB, again, no limit on the number of different numbers of files that can be uploaded. So ideally, the user is expected to upload all the documents digitally. There is no provision to file an appeal in a manual format. So all the documents should be ideally uploaded in this particular tab. Now we can see that here we have three different digital signing utility. So according to the use case, the user can submit it via Aadhaar based digital sign, or if the user have any type of DSC present with them, they can select it accordingly. Now we'll upload the documents. So here are the few mandatory documents that needs to be uploaded. First is the appeal. Next is the affidavit. Next is the payment received if done offline. Next is the wakalatnama if authorized representative is added. If in person, then it won't be mandatory. Next is the higher court order of self-calculation sheet. If in demand details tab, the user has selected that they have this particular option. The condonation of delay would be applicable if the timeline exceeds, but as the timeline has been extended to 31st of June 2026, but no cases would have condonation of delay applicable for this current time period. Now we'll be uploading the documents. Now, team, if we try, for example, try to skip one additional document, so one mandatory document, and try to go to next button, the system would stop me from there. So team, after successfully uploading all the mandatory documents, the user will land in the checklist tab. So this is the same checklist that we were able to see in the draft e-filing Excel sheet. So user would be ideally requested to read through each of the checklist point and provide their compliance on it. So ideally, it is expected that each one of the action is yes, but for some scenarios, it might be not applicable, or for some scenarios, it might be no as well. But in no, the user would have mandatorily have to fill out or explain some remark. Similarly, they have to fill for each of the 29 parameters points in the checklist. We'll proceed now. Now we'll click on submit. Now our APL 05 application preview or the appeal to appellate tribunal form has been drafted or generated. The user can view their appeal form, check the details that they have filled. And as because this was taxpayer, it is APL 05. If it was in tax officer account, this would have been generated as APL 07. The user can check the details, the demand details, the other parameters selected, verified, and then have to finally submit it and can download it as well for their reference, and then can finally submit it via submitting it via digital signature. So for example, we want to submit it via an Aadhaar based utility, or maybe for external based DSC utility, depends on the use case. Now I can see my document. I can click to sign, I can print it, or I can finally submit it. Again, we have the declaration that the particular case is not currently adjudicated in any other quasi-judicial or judicial bodies, and all the documents are legitimate. The user would have to comply with this statement. Click on yes. So now users, we have successfully submitted our appeal, and we can see that from our GST 80 APL 02 a part A form, that is the acknowledgement for the submission of appeal. Here we can see the basic details like what was the GST number, what is the time and date of filing, and most importantly, the final provisional or acknowledgement number, which would help us to track our cases in future. Now, users, once the case has been successfully submitted, the case will land on scrutiny, that is the CIS modules, where the scrutiny team, registry team would thoroughly scrutinize each and every documents and would raise any defect if applicable. And if any defect is not there, it will be registered and the user will be intimated by their SMS or email or an email ID. Now for use case, let's state that this particular case which I filed just now has been so scrutinized by the CIS team and defect has been marked. Now how to log in, how to come to this portal and do the refiling, that we will be showing now. So team, I'll again come back to my dashboard. This time I'll click on appellant corner. Then I will click on refiling. And here I can see 2 line items. So it means that 2 cases that have been filed by me have been marked as defective. So I can see here what are the defects by clicking on actions, view defects. So the defect sheet is also accessible to my portal, and I can see that on which point this was marked as defect. I can see that. I can come back to this page. I can click on edit to start my refiling. So here I can see the number of tabs are different as with respect to appeal filing. Why is that? This is because only on this two particular tabs it has been marked as defective. The other tabs have been marked as defect free, hence they are not showing in this particular screen, which also means that the tabs which are defect free cannot be edited even in refiling as well. Only the tabs which have been marked as defect would be editable in refiling. So here only in basic details tab and document, the scrutiny team found some kind of defects which I am expected to edit. So I'll maybe, for example, I'll update this and click. I'll click on upload documents. I would maybe want to replace my file which was marked as defective. I will select one new document. I will check it and I will upload it. So document has been updated. Now I'll move to preview. I'll check my details again and I'll again click on final submit. Now I can check that was successfully submitted. So team, this is how we will be proceeding with the refiling. Now we'll show how to file an application. I'll click on appellant corner. I'll click on filing. I'll click on application filing. So here, all the cases, all the appeals that have been filed by me or in case of authorized representative, the cases that have been filed by the respective GSTN users would be shown over here. Also, I'll select my particular case. For example, I want to file an application with respect to this particular case. I will click on action. I'll select my application type. For example, what type of application I want to file, maybe rectification of mistake, condonation of delay, or clarification, review, adjournment, transfer. I'll select my type of case application. Now I can see in above that here also we have few tabs. We'll explain it one by one. So here I selected adjournment application. I'll select my reason, adjournment reason. I'll in details I would fill what is my adjournment reasons. Here for sample we just put it as test data. We'll click on save and next. Based on my login, the appellant details would be pre-populated. I'll just verify them. Click on next. So in application, I have the facility to either add respondent or I can skip adding the respondent based on the use cases. So for example, I want to add the respondent. I'll click on add. I'll select the role. So it was, for example, I want to add my opposition party appellant. I will select that appellant. The name would be auto-populated over here. As soon as I select the name, the details would be populated, which I can verify the numbers, that is the GSTN or BUID numbers. The email ID and mobile number are always marked and then submitted. I would click on yes, and I can see that respondent has been added in this particular application. I'll click on proceed. If I want to add authorized representative, I can add, or if I want to just represent myself, I would add the in person. The same logic, the only names those will be coming which have been successfully registered in GSTAT web application earlier on. I'll click on next. I'll pay my application fees. I can check the details and then I can move to proceed to final submit. Now I have to add the documents. Here also there are few mandatory documents that have to be added. In the same signing functionality provided, the three options. I would have to manually upload the application. Then I would click on next. As because the payment was done offline, the payment receipt is mandatory. So I have to mandatorily upload the payment details as well, the payment receipt. I'll submit the same. And I'll move to next. Now again in application also we have the checklist page, but here the parameters are list, and but the same functionality the are expected to comply provide their compliance with respect to each parameters mentioned in the checklist. We'll click on next. Now we can see the preview of this application also generated. We can verify our details that we have filled. Then similarly, we'll proceed with the final submit using digital sign. So team, as soon as any tabs is saved, that particular appeal or application is saved as draft, and then the user can log out and come back later at any stage and can start from their draft appeal or application. Now we'll click on final submit. Now we can see that particular form has been generated April 01. That form 1 has been generated, which is the acknowledgement for submission of appeal. We can check our details, what was the filing numbers, name of the person filing the appeal, amount paid, and transaction ID. So it means that my application has been successfully submitted. So team, again reiterating, it is only successful submission, not successfully registration. So this will be also verified by the scrutiny team because before registration. Now we have filed an appeal. We have filed a reply on. We have filed an refiling. We have filed an application. Now we'll proceed with filing an additional document with respect to our particular case. Now we'll go on appellant corner. We'll click on upload additional document. So here the application or appeals which have already been registered will only be shown. Same is the case in case of filing an application. We'll select our particular appeal. We'll click on upload. We'll select our name. We'll select which form of digital signature I want to use. And then finally, I'll select my document type. So we have provided an exhaustive list of all the documents that are relevant with respect to in GSTAT. So, and as well as any other document as well. So user can come and fill the respective documents, upload it. So the user can review the document, can delete the document if any wrong document has been uploaded. If not, they can proceed to final submit. Now we can see the update that our document was successfully uploaded and the details are also shown in the screen. Now, team, the final and last important process that is left is filing and reply or cross objection. So, team, as we remember that while filing and reply or cross objection, it is to be the prerequisite at that is that an user should have filed an appeal against me as an user, and that particular case must have been registered after defect removal. If the case is filed but not registered yet, I would not be able to file any cross objection. So, assuming a case has been filed against me and the case has been successfully registered, I would be able to proceed to the cross objection filing, which would be only accessible from respondent corner. In respondent corner, I'll select respondent corner, I'll select on filing, and here I can see file reply or cross objection. So here also I can see the list of appeals that are filed against me. I can view the appeal. I can view the appeal that was filed against me, the details. I can view the documents, what was uploaded by the appellant. So it would help me to understand what is the prayer or grounds of appeal with respect from point of view of the appellant, and would help me make better reply after I access this particular documents. Now I would be able to click on proceed to file the cross objection. Team, in serial number 2 onwards, we can see it is showing as not allowed. What does that mean? That the case has been filed against me, but the case has not been successfully registered yet. So I'm able to view that case has been filed and what are the details, except the documents, but I'm not able to proceed because the case is still yet to be registered. So only this case is registered against me. I'll check the APL form, I'll check the documents, I'll check the details, and then click on action to proceed. Now I would be filling the details for cross objection filing. So first tab is the basic details tab, which populates based on the appeal that have been filed against me. I would be verifying it. I would be clicking on next. The name of the appellant would be populated, the person who had filed the case against me. Now, if I want to add any authorized representative, I would select that. Or here also I can add in person if I don't want to add any authorized representative. I'll click on next, and I would be landing on file reply details. So here I'm expected to fill the relief claimed and my grounds of cross objection. So here the character limit is also 1000 characters. So now, as because there was no demand here, so demand table is not coming, but the issues or category, if added, would be coming over here. I can see and add my reply to that. Now there are two categories that was included by the appellant in this case. So against each category of cases, I'm expected to write my reply. I would fill the details. Now, what was the issues? I will read that. What did the appellant informed as per their understanding in front of the tribunal? I'll read that, refer that, and based on that, I would file my reply. I would fill my details or what I want to convey to the appellate tribunal. And after checking every details, I would click on save and next. Then again, I land on the documents tab. Here at top, I can see all the documents that are uploaded by the appellant for the particular appeal. and I can refer the documents from here as well. And also I can select my digital signing functionality which I want to use, and can add the respective documents that I want to file. So my uploading reply is mandatory. I'll upload the document. I'll check my details, I'll check my documents, I'll then proceed to next. So my APL 06, that is the cross objection before the appellate tribunal, has been generated. I can view the details. I can check the details that I have entered. And then again, I have the 3 digital signing utility that I can select from. So ideally, it is understood that most of the taxpayers and users won't have the DSC. So ideally, they can surely proceed with the Aadhaar-based utility signing. But depends on the use case. If they have their DSC with them, they can use the DSC as well. But team, it is very important to understand that no document without digital sign would be accepted in front of the court, and that document would be mandatorily marked as defective. So it is very important to upload your documents via digital sign process only. Now I'll click on final submit. Now I can see that my cross objection has been successfully filed. I can view the details and check it. And same again, if I don't, I want to see the exhaustive list of my filed cross objection list. I can go on my accounts. I can click on my cases. I can select my filed cross objection list. I can check from here. Or if I want to select, check my list of applications, I can come and check from here. The draft also can be accessed over here, or in home page only we can have the draft cases list directly accessible. I can can select the document, delete the appeal or the cases, click on edit and directly select. For example, I know that I have filed last time I filed till case details. I'll directly jump on the add appellant details and then can start continuing from there. The basic details to the basic parameters to keep in order in draft mode or to save in draft mode is that order details, basic details has to be saved first. Once the reference number is generated, it means that order is in draft, will be available in draft format. So there will be other functionalities involved going onwards in futures, which are already being discussed internally. So, but team, this was the major, more or less the major process flows that taxpayer, tax officer, and authorized representative are expected to start and continue their filing processes. Uh, uh, I feel that major process flows that appeal filing, application filing, reply filing, and document filing are explained. Now I'll check few of the questions that have been raised and would try to summarize few of them for you. So let me just check the few of the questions. Yeah, so yes, application for any type of application, payment is mandatory for taxpayers or represented or from taxpayers end. If it is being filed by the tax officers or the GSTN officials, payment is not required. But any type of filing would incur payment and payment. I guess the recording is available. Impreet can guide the
Yes,
team.
it is available after 10 days, maximum 10 days at ICI TV.
So yeah, with respect to payment, like for especially for demand order type, the user might be confused that the payment might not be coming correctly. So as I have showed in the demo, the user can still select as that they are not agreed with the calculation. They can upload their self calculation sheet, which would be verified by the scrutiny team, and then accordingly based on that particular document or uploaded file, and the respective user have to come before the appellate tribunal and like fight for their case. Appeal filing from authorized representative is currently the functionality is not there. Maybe in future releases we might be moving forward to it. Yeah, the discussion is on, but as of now, the current functionality does not allow it. Coming back to the old question that if ARN CRN is not available as of now, there won't be functionality to file an appeal based on that. But from March onwards, March 2026 onwards, 1st of March 2026 onwards, we will be allowing that functionality. Or if any other latest advisory comes, based on that advisory, we will be doing the changes. And this ARN CRN is of APL 01/APL 03/revisional order. This does not, this ARN CRN is not of the original order, or should not be confused with DRC 07. Someone said that someone created a login in April 2025. I'm not sure, that might have been some other websites, because our website is launched on on September 24, 2025 only. So yes, everyone has to come and register on this particular web application that we are seeing on the screen, that is efiling.gstat.gov.in. Any prior registration before September 24, 2025, I'm not sure was done in this particular web application. No appeal can be filed without digital sign. If DSC is not present, Aadhaar based e-sign functionality is there. So user are requested to use that functionality only. Once now coming to the second question, the AR must be registered as well. And once they have been added in any cases by the appellant, the particular cases would be accessible to their login as well in their dashboard in under my appeal, my cases, where they will be able to see the status of the cases as well. Yes, for registration also, as of now, the user must have the valid ARN CRN. So that is must. So I'll request to please connect with your clients accordingly. If they want to add you as an authorized representative, they have to update you with their ARN CRN, so that you as an authorized representative should be able to proceed to the registration screen and then registered accordingly. Also, there is no need to panic on the limitation of the cases, because the timeline is extended to 31st of June 2026. But all those cases which are falling in the prescribed period as per the presidential order, it is highly recommended and strictly advised to please follow your timeline and file in your respective period of filing only. It is highly advisable to not to wait till the last moment, because at that time you might the server loads might be too much, the website might be slow, because lakhs and lakhs of people might be coming, some last minute changes from your end might be there. So it's always better advice to not to push it to the last moment. So, team, I guess that sums up most of the majority technical questions. Impreet, you want to add anything on that?
So what about if somebody wants to add add the applicant as well?
No, appellant cannot be added. The appellant should come to their should come to the portal, register themselves. They only have to come and file an appeal. They can add respondent, they can add authorized representative. The authorized representative cannot initiate any filing of appeal as of current functionality. In future, if the functionality is provided, maybe then they can add the appellant, but then also they won't need to add an appellant because our system is totally digitized. Based on the ARN or the GST number, the appellant details would be auto-populated. But as of now, the appellant is the main users and the process starts from appellant only. The rest users are dependent on that as of now. So user has to initiate the filing of appeal. Yeah, but for application filing and accessing the documents, authorized representative are free to do so in our application, in our web application once the case has been successfully registered.
I get two more questions of Papa.
Okay, thank you, Impreet. So that was from my end and Krishna sir's end. We covered a pre-filing, application filing, a reply filing, and additional document filing, which would be the more or less the 99% of the processes that the taxpayer and authorized representative would be doing here. Rest other functionalities in future would be added. Then we might be conducting more such informative seminars or webinars. That was from our side. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Bijoy sir and Shri Krishna Kumar sirji. Your deliberation definitely has helped everyone gain a very clear understanding of the appeal filing process. And I'm sure everyone here, in fact, we've got more than 2,000 people logged in right now listening to your presentation. So it was a very useful and enlightening presentation for all of us, sir. We truly appreciate the time and effort you took to be with us and share your insights and experiences. Thank you once again. Thank you a lot of thanks a lot from the ICAI for taking out time and sharing your deliberations with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Smita ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.